Dynamite, and today we're going to be breaking down leaked images of the Tranzit Remake coming to Call of Duty Mobile. Yes, the long-awaited Green Run map, which we've had gameplay of for well over a year now, is probably coming sooner than later. So my good buddy Nanikos was kind enough to share these images with me, which not only show Green Run, but also confirm that Diner is going to be its own standalone survival map as well. So definitely bear with me, there's a lot to break down, but today's video is sponsored by Frag Pro Shooter. So if you guys don't feel like dropping into Blackout or the isolated battle royale in Call of Duty Mobile, then feel free to drop into Frag Pro Shooter, the best shooter game of 2020 thus far. The game is specifically designed for mobile devices with more than 20 million players. The game has you build your team of 5 characters for short but engaging PvP battles. The goal is to destroy the enemy towers as quickly as possible. Once the 2 small towers are destroyed, you'll be able to access and destroy the big tower to win the game. You can even switch characters during the game, and the characters themselves are inspired by pop culture. On screen you'll see a variety of characters from my deck, but it's worth mentioning that this isn't just a game, it's a meeting point where you can create or join different clubs with your friends. My club is of course called the Ether, so feel free to join it so we can get some games in together. Now, there's also an exclusive offer for today's video. You can get free rewards by joining my community thanks to Frag. The rewards include a golden chest, 500 coins, and 50 diamonds that are actually worth $6. Now, what I love the most about the game is the really fast loading time in between a lobby and an actual match. It's literally a matter of seconds here, as you could see on screen. And I'm also a big fan of third-person shooters, and there aren't too many controls on screen when you're actually playing, which is great because a lot of other mobile games out there have like 100 controls on screen while you're trying to play, and it really clutters the actual experience. But luckily, this game doesn't have too many controls. It's a really fluent third-person experience, and it's also really friendly to new players, since when you first download the game, it gives you a nice and long tutorial to get used to all of the in-game mechanics, how to compete, how to join a club, how to customize your profile, all of that good stuff. But once again, check the link down below in the description and also in the pinned comment to get your hands on some free rewards, and so you can go ahead and play some Frag Pro Shooter with me as well. But back onto the leaked images for the Tranzit Remake for Call of Duty Mobile. It's kind of crazy because we had leaked gameplay of the Green Run maps before we even knew Shinonuma or Nocturne and Toten were also coming to COD Mobile. I know we first had gameplay of the Tranzit Remake, then we had like one leaked screenshot of Noct, then all of a sudden Shinonuma images got leaked, but then Shinonuma was the first map to release, which I found really weird. But it's also worth mentioning that zombies really isn't the focus of COD Mobile. It's considered a limited time mode, and as you can see, it's at the bottom here of the main menu, so it's kind of getting shafted. At the time of making this video, Nocturne and Toten still isn't released to the public, but there are certain servers that you can join and could play Nocturne and Toten early, but I don't think the actual Easter egg is available yet through those servers. But we had this image leak a couple of weeks ago, and you know, first looking at it, I'm like, well, what is that? But apparently it is part of this new version of Green Run that'll be coming to the game. Then Nanikos then shared some other images with me, and I think they originate from Murder Blast, so shout out to Murder Blast for, I guess, first obtaining these images. And you could see right then and there, it looks like the farm here in this new Green Run area. And then we have another image here of what appears to be town. So we do have every section of Green Run coming to COD Mobile in some way, shape, or form. Now, what I don't know is whether or not all these sections will be connected with the actual bus. That is probably a little unlikely for a mobile game, because that probably is really demanding for a game like this. But what we do know is that all of these sections will be broken up into subsections, similar to how it worked back in Black Ops 2. And for the gameplay we do have leaked already, we know that certain bosses will be available in certain areas of Green Run. We had a giant butcher at Diner, the Avogadro at the cornfield, and some other cool ones as well, as we'll showcase at the end of the video. We also have this image here of Bus Depot, so you can obviously recognize this straight away. Now, it's unclear if new areas will be added to some of these subsections, because we saw that with Shinonuma, where there were some areas that obviously aren't accessible in the original Shinonuma, but were added into the Call of Duty Mobile remake, and it did tie in Division 9 and Zetsubo no Shima pretty perfectly into the lore of Shinonuma, which I found really interesting. So the developers behind COD Mobile Zombies definitely are fans of the mode. They know the Ether storyline, they know how some of these maps work, and I think even though this isn't canon to the main Ether story as of right now, they still are adding their own twist and turn on the Ether lore itself. And we have this other image here of what appears to be the cornfield, and this is where the Avogadro boss fight usually takes place. And then looking at Diner here, last but not least, we have the actual area of Diner, which again is being set set to be its own standalone survival map. So I'm not sure how this is going to work whenever Green Run is released. Will they then get rid of Shinonuma and Nocturne and Toten and just have Green Run as a section at the main menu of COD Mobile? And then from there you can pick which section you want to play survival on? Or will they periodically drop new sections of Green Run into COD Mobile for a limited time, but then get rid of that one when a new one is added? I'm just not sure how that's going to work, because the way they've worded COD Mobile Zombies, again, is that it's a limited time mode and will only stay permanently in COD Mobile if the player retention is high. And I believe the player retention is pretty good. I know what sucks is that survival is kind of timed, so you only have about 3 hours to play and then it ends your game. So leaderboards are probably a joke because of that. You can't really get that far. It isn't really possible to make it into too high of a round because of that time. Maybe they'll remove that timer at some point in the future, but I do understand ending the game when you beat a raid. It's like doing an Easter egg and your game ends, but survival shouldn't really have a timer behind it. But they explain that it's because of, you know, devices overheating and the game being unstable, going for too long, because of how demanding the game already is on mobile devices. I guess it makes sense to lock survival behind the timer. So you guys let me know what you think of that down below in the comments. We have some more leaked images of what appears to be some more perks, power-ups, other items on the map, a bunch of stuff that probably wasn't in Shinonuma. Again, as I've said before, I didn't play much Shinonuma when it came out. I did the main Easter egg, I did the raid, played a little bit of survival, but besides that, I had no real reason to go back and play it. And I'm sure many of you guys feel the same way. It's like, looking at these maps, we've already played these maps for well over a decade, so there isn't much new that's being brought to the table with this, besides maybe the raid or the boss fight or whatever it is you unlock by beating it. But besides that, I really don't have any incentive to go and play survival on a map that I can beautifully play on Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles, which looks fantastic. But leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section about Green Run coming to Call of Duty Mobile. These images are pretty cool, and I have no idea when this map is dropping, so I could assume Nocturne and Toten is the focus of Season 3 for COD Mobile, but maybe Season 4 will have Green Run as a focus. And again, it's worth mentioning that we have no idea how this variety of zombie maps will work at the main menu. Will they get rid of the past map and add a new one? Will they have all of them bunched together so you can play any of them you want? It's really unclear how that's going to work, but hopefully they do have all of them at once so we have a nice variety of what we want to play and don't get burned out too quickly from this map. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Check out links down below in the description. Once again, as a reminder, definitely be sure to check out Frag Pro Shooter. The links are down below in the description and as a pinned comment. It's a great game. Definitely give it a try, and I will have a full guide to the Nocturne and Toten Easter egg once that map is officially released to the public with Season 3 of Call of Duty Mobile. But that is about it, and enjoy some old leaked gameplay of the different bosses that'll be featured in the Green Run remake. Let's get it.